I was following the US-backed anti-government and anti-monarchy protesters on social media this week, and they were all calling for violence. They were clamoring for violence. They wanted their protest leaders let out of jail. The courts have repeatedly refused to do this, let them out on bail, because what they'll do is they'll go right back out into the streets and lead more violent mobs. And so this time, when they made the announcement, this small handful of protesters showed up at the court building and they started vandalizing the building. They laid out tomatoes and eggs and they said, just do whatever you want to do with them. But what they were doing was encouraging violence. And that's what ended up happening. They were throwing things at the police and at the court building. And then they went out into the streets like they always do, lighting fires, destroying property, endangering the lives of ordinary people just trying to go about their daily business. And the police had to go out and stop them. And then we have, the opposition media decrying what they're claiming is police brutality. The police were not being brutal. They were doing their jobs. They were doing it professionally and patiently against violent mobs that opposition media and supposed human rights groups like Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International refuse to condemn. This is violence that they carry out consistently. They refuse to categorically condemn it, to specifically condemn it. And so this is what's happening here in Thailand. I want to tell people outside of Thailand what's happening because the Western media, if they report about these protests, will always report it as if the police were cracking down on peaceful pro-democracy protesters. They're not. They're confronting violent thugs who are making threats against judges, against members of their family, and they're going out and they're destroying the city. The vast majority of the people do not support their agenda. They do not come out and join them in the streets. And quite frankly, they're terrified of these people and they're also angry at them. They want them to stop. That is the sentiment here in Thailand. We have this chaos next door in Myanmar unfolding as well. And we had it unfolding in Hong Kong, China. And what is the common denominator? It's the US. It's the US State Department. It's the National Endowment for Democracy funding the core organizations that are promoting, driving, helping organize, and protect these violent thugs so that they can continue going out into the streets and just fueling chaos in this country and in the region of Southeast Asia. So I just thought I would update people on what's going on. It was a small protest. The protests are getting smaller and smaller, but it looks like they're getting increasingly more violent. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. If you thought this video was useful, please like and share it. Think about subscribing to the channel. It helps the channel grow and it's free to do. Look in the video description for ways you can help support my work so that I can continue making videos. And as always, thank you for watching.